Okay, I think this is so extraordinary that it's worth its own video. These objects contain this little guy, winged, ready to crawl around. I don't know if he can fly yet, or it can fly, or whatever gender it assumes. Here's another of these things. These are growing off the face, the top face of oak leaves. I don't know what material these are made out of, but I hypothesize that these are actually mutations or that they're composed. I theorize that they're composed of oak cellular material. So they have all the plant cells, but it's like the genetics have been diverted by this insect into this form, which is spiky. I think it's like some sort of dormitory for this insect. So the spikes deter predation. They're pretty stiff and sharp. It's a moist structure. It does contain moisture. I broke one apart with my fingernails, and this little guy came out. He was hiding in these. So these, I'm assuming, contain I think these are of the wasp group of insects. So each one of these is like a pod that contains one of these insects. And what strikes me about these is that they grow on the top of oak leaves. So I'm thinking that's extraordinary, because it's like if those little pods are made out of cellular material with oak genetics in them, then it's like this insect species has diverted the DNA of the oak organism into a structure. So that's crazy. I mean, what does it do to it's not like a plant cancer. It's because it is formed into, that's my theory anyway. Look, there's some fungi. I'm trying to find another example of these little pods that are attached to oak leaves. But it's like, do these wasps secrete some sort of chemical agent that will interact with the DNA of the oak leaf and then produce this sort of divergent structure so this is the standard oak leaf structure, but it'll produce like a sort of divergent structure that favors the insect. That's not anything I've ever learned about in a biology class. I'm trying to find an example for you guys of these little pods that are affixed to the top of these oak leaves. So far I'm not finding one. I'm sure if I Google, I'll be able to find out what these things are. But yeah, that's just crazy. Imagine if you had some sort of formulation and then you just put a drop on a leaf. See, here's a mutation. These are found on the oak. I think these are on these. It's not a fruit, it's nothing. It's just some sort of aberrant growth that you often see on oaks. Okay, here's one of those pods. Okay, check it out. It's stuck onto the leaf. It's like a part of the leaf. What are these pods made out of? Is it plant material or is it animal material? Do these cells have cell walls, or do they lack the cellulose cell wall that plants have? So I found a leaf with 3 of them attached to a leaf. Here's a leaf with 1 attached. Yeah, it's pretty well attached. So what I'm thinking of is, say someone's got cancer, right? There's a growth or a tumor. The cancerous cells will chemically signal a process called angiogenesis. That's where blood vessels will start to form around the cancer to feed it. I'm wondering if this insect secretes does a similar thing where it so I want to know, is this thing vascular? So is that like a stem where material would, what is it, phloem and xylem would go in and out of this structure? This is not an animal structure. This is a plant structure, right? That's what I want to know. This is not an animal structure, is it? It contains water. I mean, it's moist. It's semi-rigid, so, but it's almost like a fruit. Anyway, I'm sure if I Google it, I'll find the answers to all my questions.